The last three problems, we're supposed to find the areas of the figures. In each case, we'll be using the information that we know about 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45 degree triangles in order to give us the necessary lengths to then compute the area. The first one, number 12, we see that we have a large triangle divided into two smaller triangles. We see that the vertice, the angle on the far right, is 30 degrees, and we see that the smaller triangle on the right is a 90-degree angle, which then leads us to conclude that this angle right here then is going to be 60 degrees. In order to find this angle, I'm simply going to take 105 and subtract 60 from that. And doing that, I wind up getting 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Therefore, we know that this is 45, and if this is 90, that means this is 90. So that means this angle is 45 degrees. So we know that these two lengths then are the same. Alright, first let's take a look at the 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. The 30, 60, 90, this is the hypotenuse. This side that I'm going to color in blue, light blue, is the hypotenuse right here. That's the hypotenuse. Okay, so if that's 10, that means that the short leg is going to be half that amount. This is the short leg, so that means this is 5. Well, if this length is 5, that means this length is 5. Okay, so this is the long leg of the 30, 60, 90, so this is going to be 5 times the square root of 3. Alright, now to find the area of this entire triangle, we're going to look at this length right here, and I'm going to color this one in pink. That this length right here is going to be the addition of 5 plus 5 square root of 3, and the height or altitude of the triangle is going to be 5. So to find the area of our total triangle, which is, remember, it is the base times the height and it's either times by half or divided by 2. We can divide by 2. So the base in this case is the pink length. So we have area is equal to 5 plus 5 square root of 3, and my height is 5. And then we're going to divide that whole thing by 2. So if I go 5 plus the square root of 5 plus 5 times the square root of 3, I get 13.66. So area is approximately 13.66 times 5, and we're going to divide that by 2. So I'm going to take that answer, times that by 5, which gives me approximately 68.30, which is approximately 68.30. Divide that by 2. Final answer is going to be 34.15. So my area is approximately 34.15 square units. Okay, so that would be the answer then for number 12. Okay, going to 13. Going to 13 now. If here I have one of the things I forgot to put in my drawing is this length right here is 15, which is my short side. So if my short side is 15 and again I'll use pink. That means that my long side, the length of my long side right here, that is going to be the short side times the square root of 3. Okay, so I'm simply going to go 15 square root of 3, and then so that's my height. By the way, this is a parallelogram, and the area for a parallelogram is simply base times the perpendicular, or straight up and down, height. Well, my base is 15. That's this right here. That's my base. My straight up and down height is 15 times the square root of 3. So if I multiply 15 times 15, I think that's 225 if I'm not mistaken. So now I have 225 times the square root of 3. So if I multiply 225 times the square root of 3, I get approximately 389.71. So the area here is approximately 389.71 square units. Okay? So that leaves me with number 14. Let me go ahead and put a red box around my answer for number 13 here. This is for number 12. This is for number 13. Okay, so going on to number 14, here I have an isosceles triangle, 120, and if it says in the problem that these lengths are each 24. Okay, if I make a bisector straight down, doesn't look exactly straight, but it is. That's going to cut these two angles in half, so that makes each one of these 60. Well, if this is 90, that makes this 30. All right. So we have a 30, 60, 90 degree configuration here. Well, if 24 is my hypotenuse, that means my short leg, which is this leg down here, is going to be 12. So that's 12, and that's 12. And then the long leg, which is going to be this length right here, and I'll put that in pink again. Pink seems to be my favorite color today. So this long leg right here is going to be short leg times the square root of 3. So the height, which is the long leg, then is simply going to be 12 times the square root of 3. Alright, so to find the area of this triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. So area here, area is equal to base times height divided by 2. My base here, the whole thing right here, is 24. So area is equal to 24. My height is 12 square root of 3. 12 times the square root of 3. And I'm dividing that whole thing by 2. So if I were to go ahead and go 24 times 12 times the square root of 3, I get 498.83. 498.83. I'm going to divide that by 2. And my final answer is going to be 249.42. So it's approximately 249.42, and that's square units. And that would be my answer for number 14. No. That concludes our exercises for today.